Good evening, everyone. This is Jacob Melton, live with you this evening for West Michigan weather on a snowy Saturday evening across West Michigan. I'm joined here by Jonah Drake, our very own co-founder, and what we have here is a live update on winter weather conditions across the West Michigan area this evening. So, Jonah, if you just want to let us know real quick what's going on, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure. How are you guys doing? Thanks to Jacob for running the live stream side of things tonight while I go out and about in the field doing some snow chasing. I'm on M37, which is Alpine Avenue, for those of you who may know it by that better. Right next to I-96. So we're going to jump on I-96 and take 96 over to 131 and head north on 131. We do have, we've had pretty rapid deterioration in road conditions this evening. The plow trucks are not able to keep up with the snowfall rates anymore, and those snowfall rates are only going to continue to increase. In fact, Jacob, I think if you pull up that graphic the Weather Service just posted a little bit ago, the Grand Rapids office just posted a little bit ago, it'll give people an idea of just the intensity of the snow showers that are still to come. We're going to have snowfall rates approaching 1 to 2 inches per hour, and that will continue through the better half of the evening and overnight hours.
Alright, so I'm pulling that up right now. This is from the National Weather Service in Grand Rapids. And as you can see, this is from, let me double check, but just a little under an hour ago. It says by 7 p.m. their post, the heavier snow will move north from I-94 to I-96. And as you can see, it is indicating, oops, let me get that back. Okay, 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates. That is being indicated here according to the National Weather Service in Grand Rapids. Once you get snowfall rates of that nature, as Jonah said, the road crews are just not going to be able to keep up with that, and visibility is obvious. There's going to be very, very low visibility, if not zero visibility at times, because Austin from Facebook is saying whiteout conditions here in Berrien County. With those snowfall rates, I wouldn't necessarily doubt that. So, again, as those continue to move north throughout the night, we will expect that to continue for the next several hours. Again, this is per the National Weather Service in Grand Rapids. So, if you don't have to be out there tonight, I think it would be best just don't. But, alright, let me get that. Okay, so, alright, if you don't have to be out there tonight, just don't. But if you do need to be out there, you're going to need to be very, very careful and use extreme caution. And make sure you have a winter kit in your vehicle just in case something does happen and you get stranded. So,
we're doing about 15 to 20 miles per hour under the speed limit on every roadway that I've been on out here tonight since about 5 o'clock. Been about 15 to 20 under the speed limit on whichever road we're at. So it's very consistent. Lots of snow-covered, slippery roadways out there. And we're not even really to that peak intensity yet. So.
Right, which I'll actually take radar full here just for a second so we can show you that a little bit better. So let me switch. Fix my window really quick. Okay. There we go. Okay, so as you see, we're taking a look at radar here. As you can see, it's all blue across the area. That means it's all snow. No signs of any rain mix or anything like that this evening. It's all snow. And I will say, once we get off to the southwest, if you are in Berrien County, it is possible, if this fills in, there is a little bit of a dry slot across southern Lake Michigan down towards Michigan City. And then down in the parts of northwest Indiana. This would only be a brief break in the snow, and that's if it doesn't fill in. But otherwise, we got several hours of snow to go across West Michigan. Probably until at least overnight tonight and probably into parts of Sunday morning as well, before we expect things to really start to taper off. So, again, as I mentioned, if you don't have to be out tonight, I would say just stay home if you can. But I know some of you can't avoid travel, and if you can't, then just be very careful. Jonah, do you have something to say?
Yeah, so we're just on 96 here. We just got on 96 from Alpine Avenue or M37, and we're doing 35 miles per hour here. And the roads are extremely snow covered and icy, and it takes a lot to get up and go. Once you're going, it's okay, but it's still definitely very slick. It's definitely a two-track with lots of snow on the left lane, and then a two-track in the primary right lane. So, and we're going to be jumping on 131 here now, but it's definitely rough out here, even on our major interstates.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Ashley in chat say roads are terrible and be careful driving, Jonah. Well, don't worry, Ashley. Jonah here's gonna be very careful driving here this evening, and so trust me, Jonah's been doing this for a while, so he knows what to do with driving in these winter conditions. But but yeah, he will be careful this evening, and and as he just mentioned, the roadways, they're all slick, and I will say I was driving back from the east side of the state earlier today, a little bit earlier this afternoon, and even then, this is when the snow was just beginning to pick up, and it's been a very similar story coming from that way. So very slick roadways. Take it very, very slow if you do need to be out there this evening. But honestly, if you have the opportunity to just stay home, maybe watch some holiday movies or something like that, that would probably be a better bet tonight. Just let the snow get out of here and go from there.
Yeah, again, 131 is a two-track. It looks, honestly, just based on kind of I'm sure it's very difficult to tell on the live stream, but on the right side of my screen there, the rightmost two-track, there's a little bit of a bank, and so I'm going to say that the plow just came through here, and already it's still a two-track. So we've got very heavy snowfall rates here along US 131 in Grand Rapids, and then we just saw 96, which was snow covered and a two-track, so there wasn't even the bare pavement like we see here. It was all snow. So we're passing this LMCU ballpark now, where the West Michigan Whitecaps play, and we're doing about 40, 45 miles per hour on 131 here, even with the snowplow just coming through.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, again, just because the snowplows are out, but unfortunately, with the snowfall rates as heavy as they are and only increasing, there's just going to be a point where they're not going to be able to really keep up. And I mean, they'll still be out there the best they can, especially along the main highways, to try and keep them clear. But again, you still got to take things very, very carefully if you have to be out here tonight. So, tell you what we'll do. We'll go back. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're going to jump over the number 2 lane. It's actually a little bit safer over here, it seems like, because the plow just went down this number 2 lane. So we're going to hang out in this for a little bit. But yeah, we're still only doing like 50 miles an hour, 55 miles per hour in the number 2 lane. So, and again, it goes from that 2-track to this very quickly. So be very careful. Limit your distractions if you have to be driving, and just stay home if you can.
Yep, definitely. Austin, again from Facebook, saying, MDOT passed by my house and it looks like they didn't plow. That's how bad it is out there. And, well, with these snowfall rates, again, I wouldn't doubt that. Because, again, by the time they go through there, it just won't take long for the snow to accumulate right back up. So, again, that's something we're going to be reiterating a lot tonight. And yeah, so we're going to go back to radar real quick. And Okay, so all right, so and we're gonna take radar off real quick just so we can take a look at the current warnings and advisories. There has been really no changes from earlier today. We still continue with our winter storm warning across much of West Michigan from south of US 10 especially. That's a winter storm warning where we're looking at between they have earlier this afternoon bumped up totals just a touch. So for our eastern counties, that includes, for most of our counties, I should say, that includes 7 to 11 inches of total snow accumulations. And then for our southwest Michigan areas, they are saying 8 to 12 inches of snow. And we'll go down to the US 12 or border counties, 8 to 12 inches.
We do have a slide off on the left side there. Sorry, Jacob, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nope,
I had you deafened somehow.
Nope, all good. So.
Yep. So slide off on the left side. So be really careful. Anyway, please continue. Sorry, Jacob. Again, I had you deafened.
Yep, all good. But again, so this is the US 12 counties. This one still goes till 7 p.m. on Sunday. It says total snow accumulations between 8 and 12 inches. They also are mentioning locally higher amounts will be possible there due to the potential of lake effect snow showers on Sunday. That is also why we maintain a little in our forecasts, which I can pull up here in just a minute as well, that we did earlier this afternoon as well. And that is why we went 9 to 12 inches across portions of southwest lower, and that is why that is, because not only will we have the system snow, while that will be out of here by tomorrow, that begin to move out of here later tomorrow morning, we will have to watch for the potential of lake effect on Sunday afternoon across some of West Michigan that we'll have to keep an eye on as well. But let me... So, kind of just doing things on the fly here, so just bear with me just for a second. Okay. Alright.
While Jacob's getting what he's doing pulled up, just for reference, we're down to about 35 miles per hour on US 131. There's some traffic going a little bit faster, but for the most part, the average is about 35 miles per hour here in the number one lane, the right lane.
All right, thank you for that. And okay, while I do that, okay, I'm gonna be switching a couple more things around here, and okay, so. And I'll switch out radar so we can get Jonah back. Okay, there we go. Alright, so as you can see here, I have the right side of the screen now. That is our snowfall forecast from late this morning, early afternoon. This was our final call as the snow began to fall late this morning. And as you can see, we continue with 5 to 8 inches across the US 10 corridor, and then especially east of the US 127 corridor. So for pretty much east of Lansing, east of Jackson, east of St. John's, and near and east of Alma, and then also Ludington, Reed City, and Clare areas along with Mount Pleasant. That is 5 to 8 inches of snow. That is continuing to look good at this point across that area. And then as we go further southwest from Hart to Big Rapids to just southwest of Alma to Lansing and Points West and Jackson West, that is 7 to 10 inches of snow in that area. And you will see we do have the plus added onto it. That means there could be locally higher totals in that zone depending on how things set up as we head into the overnight hours of tonight. And then also, as you see, we did from earlier, if you saw our earlier forecast and this one, you will notice we did bring this a little bit back further to the southwest. It was up to like the Grand Rapids area, Grand Haven, whatnot, and then east, and then a little bit more to the east. So we did bring it back south and west a little bit. But Holland, Allegan, Kalamazoo, the Three Rivers area, Niles, St. Joseph, South Haven, and any other areas in between there, that is a 9 to 12 inch zone in this pale yellow type color. And you'll see we also have the plus added to it at the end there as well. That means, again, locally heavier snowfall rates. That it could be locally heavier snow totals, I should say, excuse me. But again, so some areas, especially if we get the lake effect Sunday afternoon, could end up could see over a foot of snow. That's not entirely out of the question, especially there in southwest lower Michigan, south and west of Grand Rapids. So, all right, we'll go back. Just a couple things again.
While you were talking about that snowfall forecast, just reminds me of something I've been hearing a lot today while I was out and about this afternoon. Our forecast is on track. Yes, we know we did not get much snow this morning. We were never really expected to get much snow during the daytime hours today. It was always the case, both in our forecast and every other forecast that I've seen from the National Weather Service, from local broadcast meteorologists, and from other weather pages that exist in Michigan. It was always the case that we were not supposed to have our significant snowfall with these very heavy snowfall rates that are moving into the area until now. With the exception of maybe far southwest Michigan, which saw impacts earlier in the day, the vast majority of the area was not set to get really significant snow until now. And so now that is happening, and we do have 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates moving into the area per that graphic we looked at a few minutes ago. And that will continue all night long. We'll see we've got plenty of time. We've got 12 hours almost, maybe even a little bit more than 12 hours to see the snow pile up to reach those totals that Jacob was just talking about. So I've been hearing a lot of, well, this is kind of a lame winter storm, or we didn't get much snow for this winter storm. Well, that's because the significant snow hadn't really started yet. So it's important to note that this event is really just now starting to get underway in terms of the significant portion of it. So that's why, if someone was confused, that is why. And so we are now seeing that forecast start to verify really pretty well. So we're still on track to see those very impressive snowfall totals overnight tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And another point I've seen a confusion is I've also seen people discussing how different media outlets have slightly different totals in certain spots. Again, they all are saying the same general things, that impactful snow is expected across the area tonight and even into tomorrow morning. What all the outlets I've seen are saying the same thing. Yes, the numbers might be slightly different, and the positioning of those numbers might be slightly different, but we're all, for the most part, saying the same general thing, which is there's could be quite the snowfall across across the area through tomorrow morning. So again, I know there's slightly different numbers going out there. What I would recommend to do is just pick a forecast source, or maybe two, and just go with those, because shopping around all these different numbers, that I'm going to be honest with you, is just going to create more confusion for you than to just pick one or two and stick with them. So okay. Jonah, do you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I think that covers both points really pretty well. And just really quickly, as I start to head north, we're just now getting north of Rockford, so we do start to run into some service issues north of Rockford as we get into these trees and these hills and valleys. So just be mindful that I might drop in and out. But we'll wrap the stream up with me here. We'll do our best to wrap the stream up with me here in just a little while. So, but just being mindful that I might drop in and out for a little bit. So.
Yep. So, again, there's not much we can really do about those service issues, but that's why I'm here, and I'll do my best to carry us through that when those happen. So. Austin from Facebook is saying, I know it's Saturday, but will there be a post if area schools will be closed for Monday? And the answer to that question is that's something we will be considering throughout the day tomorrow. We'll see how the snow does throughout tomorrow morning, and then how crews handle that, and we'll have to also take consideration the additional lake effect that's possible Sunday afternoon. So to answer that question is stay tuned for that. There will probably be something to that effect, mainly for rural areas, but stay tuned. So
yeah, I could jump in just a little bit and say that we are considering doing an outlook, an early access outlook it's what we call a day 2 outlook. So when we talk about severe weather, day 1 is today, day 2 is tomorrow. So in this case, day 1 would be like we're forecasting for school closings on Sunday. Of course, that's not really the case because there's obviously no schools in session. So what it would be a day 2 outlook for Monday. And those are available to our community supporters. We release all of our day 1 outlooks for everybody, but those special in advance forecasts, we use it as a perk for our community supporters. So if you're really super curious about snow days, you can become a community supporter for as low as 99 cents a month. And I am considering putting one of those out tonight in just a little while. So I would say by 9:30, 10 o'clock at the very latest, we might have a day 2 snow day outlook out for our community supporters. And you can do that right here on Facebook. There should be a link in the comments of this live stream or on any of our posts, or you can do it on our website at westmichiganweather.net/donate.
Yep, absolutely. And we can, again, so as Jonah was just saying, we are considering for our community supporters a day 2 release of our school closings outlook later tonight, and we'll have that on our platforms for our supporters later this evening. Again, you can do that on Facebook or on our website at www.westmichiganweather.net/donate, and that is where you can find all the platforms that you're able to do that. And again, that's completely optional. We would never require donations for our operations here, but again, it's just one of those. But again, it's just we would be greatly appreciated as it helps our operations here at West Michigan Weather whether it comes to these live streams or just covering the weather in general. It helps us out significantly, and it's greatly appreciated if you are able to. All right, so he's continuing on US. Jonah there is continuing on US 131, and it's still snow covered, still very slow going out there, as it should be, really. So
yeah, we're doing about 40 miles an hour. Still a 2-track. The plow is obviously just up the road in front of us. I haven't seen them yet, but it's very apparent just based on the pattern of the snow on the shoulder. It's been thrown recently. It's not smooth, so I can tell the plow is just through here. So that's what's allowing this number 1 lane to be pretty much okay for the most part, with some exceptions, like right here.
Yep. Again, it's just one of those exceptions to where, again, that if a plow has not recently hit a road, that's pretty much what it will look like. It'll be snow covered, probably slick too. So.
Yep, very slick. We're still doing about 35, 40 miles an hour.
Yep. In addition to the roadways as as the snowfall rates continue to get heavier across the area tonight, visibilities are going to be way down as well. So it's another thing to keep in mind. So.
Yeah.
All right, as you can see on the left side, we have our Doppler radar up as well. As you can see, in fact, I will go over to the radar itself here just for a moment. Let me get the other source back. Okay. All right, so we got radar going once again, and as you see, I'll zoom in a little bit. If you see some of these deeper blues showing up, especially near the Allegan area, even in and around Grand Rapids a little bit. If you see some of these deeper blues down towards Kalamazoo and whatnot, these deeper blues, that's our heavier snowfall rates that we were just talking about. And actually, I'm gonna... But yes, so the deeper the blues, the heavier the snowfall. And again, as the National Weather Service in Grand Rapids indicated with their post earlier this evening, 1 to 2 inch snowfall rates are are pretty much expected across parts of the area this evening into tonight. And we'll say this, earlier in southwest in Illinois, there were reports of thunder snow earlier. It is not entirely out of the question that we see thunder snow. And we think the best chance for that, if it's going to happen, is going to be near and south of I-94. That is pretty much where we're looking at the best chance for if there is going to be thunder snow. That's where we're thinking it's going to be. And one thing to keep in mind, if there is thunder snow, that will enhance the snowfall rates as well. So that is when we might start seeing if the area sees thunder snow, they might end up on the higher range of totals as well. So just something to keep in mind. So.
Jacob, we're in a kind of an open area here, and if you can see on the live stream, the snow is coming across the roadway sideways here with these southeasterly winds. So any open areas on north-south roads are going to be experiencing that blowing snow, which is going to further reduce visibilities and create those snow drifts, especially on the west sides of the roadway. So you can see that left lane, that's the west side of the roadway, and that left lane, I don't know how well you guys can see it actually looking at the preview I have here, but there is a little bit of a bank right on the center line, the center dash line. There is a little bit of a bank starting to start there with the southwesterly winds blowing the snow across the road here. So, and as you can see, the snowfall rates and the wind are reducing visibilities just a little bit more than they have been back in those wooded areas. So,
yep, absolutely. So that's something to keep in mind, especially in the open areas. Visibilities will especially be a bit of an issue. Luckily, the winds overall are not as strong as they were with our last system. So that's fortunately...
Yeah, we'd be talking full-on blizzard if it was.
Fortunately, that is the case, but still, even with the winds we do have, which if you saw our earlier updates, we do have the potential for some wind gusts 35, 40 miles per hour, especially near along the immediate Lake Michigan shorelines, and then south of I-94 as well. Some 30 to 40, maybe 45 mile per hour gusts will be possible at times too. So that is another reason we'll have to watch a little bit for some of that blowing snow again. That would reduce visibilities as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Austin asking, how do we in southwestern Michigan find out if there are travel restrictions? I have searched all over to find a travel advisory map. I know MI Drive or My Drive shows road conditions, but no travel restrictions.
Yeah, your best source of information for that, and I could say that there's not any right now, but your best source of information would be your local MSP post. So Southwest Michigan is, I believe, 6th district or 7th district. Might even be 5th district. It is 5th district down there for Southwest Michigan. So look up MSP 5th district on Twitter, or X as it's called now, and that's your best source of information for those travel restrictions from the public information officer for MSP. But I can pretty much guarantee there's not any of those right now. We're not talking like life-threatening blizzard conditions across the area. So I would be surprised if there were any travel bans, but yeah, MSP 5th District on Twitter would be your source of information for that.
Yeah.
Whoever was asking that question, I think it was Austin.
Yeah, it was. But so yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Austin. And so again, but just because there's no travel bans, we can encourage you to, if you don't have to travel tonight, then really, I would say don't do it. But again, I know some of you don't really have a choice but to travel, and if you do need to travel, again, just be very, very careful out there, and make sure you have a winter kit with you in your vehicle, just in case if you do get stranded or something. It might be a little bit before help can get to you, so just something to keep in mind there as well. In that winter kit, we want you to have some, like a blanket, maybe some snacks or water and some things like that, just in case, because it might be a little bit before help can get to you with these conditions out here tonight. So
yeah, absolutely.
And all right, let's go back to radar real quick. Okay, so let's go to a single site. This is a little bit better resolution than our composite view, but again, the general story of this is snow, snow, snow. That's the story tonight. And I actually am seeing the National Weather Service. This is outside of our area, but for those of you that might be in the Detroit metro area, there's a special weather statement they put out. I will say, if you're along and east of I-75, they have opted to put this area in a winter weather advisory. Same with the US 10 corridor. Whether you're in a winter weather advisory or a winter storm warning, the impacts really are going to be the same. It's just in the winter weather advisory areas, there's just going to be a little bit less snowfall than in the winter storm warning areas, but the impacts really are going to be the same tonight and tomorrow morning, and that is going to be mainly travel impacts. So just keep that in mind. If you're on the US 10 corridor, especially in our area, just because you're in a winter weather advisory, you're still looking at a pretty decent snowfall across the area. But the special weather statement is indicating heavier snowfall is lifting across the I-94 corridor. This is a little bit earlier this evening at 7:32, but across the I-94 corridor, it will reach the I-96, 696 corridor later this evening. Expect snowfall rates up to a ½ inch per hour and visibility reductions down to a half mile. With air temperatures in the upper 20s, untreated roadways will become slick and snow covered, and drivers again should be prepared for highly variable road conditions and the possibility for rapid reductions in visibility this evening and overnight. That's really true across the entire area, and as we've been seeing with these heavier snowfall rates, which over here is, I know they mentioned a ½ inch, but it's been higher than that, up to 1 to 2 inches be possible per 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates, will be possible tonight. And really at that point, as we've been seeing, the snowplows can come through all they want, but with those snowfall rates, it's not really not going to do much for at least for a long period of time. It'll be very short, if any, relief for the road conditions. So again, just take it easy out there if you have to be out there. But if you don't have to be out there, really just stay inside. Just take it easy tonight. Let the snow get out of here tomorrow morning for most of us, and we can start to get back to normal there. But just for tonight, again, if you don't have to be out, really, the best advice I could give you is just stay home. Or, again, if you must be out there, be very careful. Alright, we'll go back full with Jonah's view here. And, yeah, the visibility's not really looking that great on this shot, Jonah.
No, it's not been great for about the last 2 miles. The snowfall rates have definitely intensified here. We're doing about 30 miles an hour. Some of the traffic in that left lane is doing a little bit faster than I feel comfortable with, but for the most part, the average, there's some cars in front of me in the lane that you can see, and there's plenty of cars behind me in this right lane, just kind of moseying along at about 35, maybe 40 miles per hour. So that's kind of where we're at. Road conditions continue to remain slick and snow covered, and overall just not great travel. And there's that snowplow that I was trying to find.
There it is. So
they were definitely, and there's 2 of them, so they were definitely clearing both lanes. And that number 2 lane, especially on the left side, was really bad, even though they had just come through them. So, but yeah, this was a quick look for you guys at road conditions across the area, really from Grand Rapids all the way north to the Montcalm County line.
All right. So I think with that, I think we're ready to wrap this up.
Yeah, are there questions or anything in the chat? I know we had a few. Are there any more?
I have not seen any more, so all right.
Okay.
With that said, guys, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up for this evening.
You guys can see the non-interstates and U.S. routes. They're not even touching those right now. So this is a county line road, so it's a pretty major road right between 2 counties. And the fact that it's not even plowed, a lot of this is going to pile up really quickly overnight. So this is a look at a secondary road as well for you guys.
Yep. So, and yeah, as Jonah just mentioned, those secondary roads, to be honest with you, most of those are not going to really be touched until this snow ends later tomorrow. Yep. So just keep that in mind. If they're having trouble keeping the major roads clear, the secondary roads are not. Could be much better. So, all right. Yep. So, but I think we're gonna get at it. We're gonna go ahead and close out this stream, and we'll still have updates throughout the evening and tonight if as needed. And for the community supporters, again, we are hoping to get a snowfall outlook out later this evening, so stay tuned for that. But again,
we'll do our best to get the snow day outlook out to you guys, like Jacob said. So, yeah.
But again, thank you guys for joining us this evening, hanging out with us for a little bit, and we'll talk to you guys later.